Okay, just wanted to cover something really quick for getting and setting properties for Photon. I'm going to go up to the PlayMaker and I'm going to go add-ons, and I'm going to go Photon, and I'm going to just go add a proxy to the scene. Just a nice, easy, simple way. And I'm not gonna go crazy making a bunch of UI and stuff for this. I'm just gonna say Photon connect, or where is connect to master? Okay, it's under pun. Same thing. All right, so right at the start, we're going to connect. Now that we're connecting, I need to wait for the connect. So I'm going to go custom Photon on connected to master. So we're connecting. Okay, we've now connected to master. Once we're here, I am going to let's say auto sync. Let's turn that on, and let's join lobby. I like doing that because it opens up some options. And now once we've joined lobby, so let's bring that over here, custom Photon on join lobby. We have now joined the lobby. I'm just going to say, well, we'd normally say, join random room or something. Now, I'm not gonna bother with that. That's not what this is about. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to create a room. All right, and I'm just going to leave it just like that. And then what are we going to do? We're going to do custom Photon where is on joined room, and then we can load a level. So now I have two scenes. I've got this scene here that I made. It's called set prop. Let's save that. Let's open a scene. I made another scene called get prop for get properties. Now there's nothing in here, right? There's no logic in here, nothing in here. We will come back to this in a minute, but I wanted to show you that I do have another scene set up called get prop. So we're going to load get prop, and I'm going to put the level to none. If you have issues with loading, if you're going to use the name, make sure this is none. If you want to use the number, make sure this is set to none, like that. Okay. All right, so now we're going to load get prop. Now, just that alone, without doing anything, we are now in get prop. We've loaded into the scene. So far, so good. Now let's go to our get prop, and let's make an object here. I'm going to give it an FSM. Actually, I'm going to make two objects. Let's call this our manager, and it's going to have an FSM. And let's give it a variable. Let's make it two variables. Let's say property 1. I spelt that wrong, but that's okay. And property 2. And I'm going to put these both in the input just so I can see them out here. But anyways, what I'm going to do now is I am going to use Photon view get properties. Now he wants obviously a Photon view component because we're dealing with PlayMaker. We also need a Photon view game object proxy. All right, so we need two properties. We haven't built these yet, so we're going to build them right now. Right, so let's call one, we'll call it broken, and it's going to be a float, and we'll store that into property 1. Property 2, let's call it tutorial, and it can be an integer, and we'll store it in the property 2. Okay, so that's the manager, and I'm going to prefab him into the resources folder. Make sure that's there. So anyways, back into this first object. He is just going to have a pun instantiate. And he is going to instantiate that manager we just made. That's all that's going to happen. Now we're going to go back to the set prop. And you can set properties during play, and you can get properties during play. But what I'm going to do is we're going to take that one step farther, and we're going to bring it out here. So I'm actually going to move this create room down here, and I'm going to put a next frame in just in case. I don't know if it's needed, but I'm going to do it anyways. All right. And meanwhile, I want to set properties. So I'm going to use pun set player custom properties. I'm going to use the local player, and it only gives me the option for 1, so I'll have to use 2 of them. Right, so we have broken. It's the name of the property, and it was a float, and we can give this anything. Let's give it a variable. I'm going to call it float, and then I'm going to stick it out here so we can adjust it. And there's room properties. I thought there was one where you can set multiple properties. Let's take a quick little looky-see. There's a couple different get properties. Now I have had issues with one of the get properties, and I'll show you what that looks like. And no, maybe it is just that one. All right. Well, actually, you know, I think you can also do it in here. No, maybe it was create room advance. Create room advanced. Yeah, here you can set numerous properties. But that's for the room. That's not for the player. All right, so we're just going to do this. So we have broken and we have tutorial. And tutorial was a type integer, and I'm going to throw that out here as well. Put that into the input. So just to recap, we're starting or connecting to Photon right on the start. You don't have to do that. I'm just going to do that. It's one of the better ways to do things. I'm going to sync scenes because that's quite often what you do. Joining lobby, you don't have to do. If you ever want to develop your own little like a room listing thing in your UI, you have to join the lobby first. You can't see rooms in a list without being inside a lobby to view the rooms that are in the lobby, right? Now, the lobby name and all that, nothing matters. You can have your game just have one lobby for the entire game. You know, there's a billion frickin' rooms in this thing, who cares? And that's fine. If you want to utilize rooms and lobbies, you can do that too, but I'm just gonna join lobby like default. So once we join the lobby, I'm gonna set my properties. Now again, you can do this during normal gameplay. You can set properties, but I'm going to do it out here on this screen. I'm going to do a quick next frame, then we're going to create the room, load the level. So let's save. Oh, now we should probably actually set these properties, right? So I can set anything I want. Let's see. There we go. So we play, we're in set prop. It's going to load all the stuff. We're now in get prop. If I expand things and I see our manager that has spawned, I look at our properties, there's our two properties. All right, get the property of broken, get the property of tutorial. There's those values. Everything works just fine. Easy peasy. Now, like I said, now there is one issue I have seen, and I will show you. Is in this one, right? If we hide that guy and let's get properties under network, get properties, right? So this is Photon view, get owner properties. This is Photon network, get player properties. And this one here I've had some issues with. We'll see if I have issues with it now. So the same two properties, and I'm going to store them. Okay, so these have to be a string. That might have been my issue before. So let's see. So this is going to be, we'll call it 1A and 1B. Now let's see if that does anything. A and B. All right, so let's save that. Go out of that. Hit play. Let's see if those ones work. And there's a couple different versions of the get properties, right? So okay, the A and B didn't work. Getting them as strings. I mean, if I would have set them as a string, that might have been different. Right? Like if I go back out here and I go into our logic and I say, okay, you know what, broken isn't type float, it's type string, and the value is going to be, we're going to call it cat in a hat. You'd think I'd go with hello world because that's kind of the norm of coding, but fuck it. Right, so we've loaded. Now obviously it zips through real quick. And let's see. No, he still doesn't want to work. But you see this, and this is the issue I've had before, where these variables, they aren't serializing. Right, now if I set these to A and B and I re-get them, nope, still doesn't want to do it for me. So that is one issue I've seen with the get properties. Okay, and I believe I did fix that at one point in time by going in and playing with the code, but again, I'm not going to bother doing that right now either. Instead, we're just going to use get owner properties, right? Owner of this object, right? We can get the nickname, the actor number. Like there's our actor number. All sorts of stuff, right? And now, right, we come into, okay, I guess I gotta get out of there. We're under get properties. I grab it, and there's our two values. Even though one's changed because it turned it into a string, so it obviously came back as 0, which is fine. That's to be expected. Right, if I change it to, change that back into a float, then everything will work again. All right, let's go into the negatives. Let's make sure I'm not a liar. All right, oh, there we go. So that's how we get and set properties. And actually, you know what? For one more, as a bonus thing, let's also go in here. Let's get these properties. Let's also set a property. All right. I'm going to use that same thing, broken, and it's going to be a type float. And we're going to set it to, we'll use 8. That's my lucky number. But I'm going to deactivate this for a minute. Okay. And if I hit play now, we now get in here. We can come over here. I can see we have those negative numbers. And if I deactivate the get and activate the set, so the float should now be an 8, right? So I'm going to reset this FSM while we're in play mode. So the float should now be an 8. Now I'm going to turn on the get properties again, right? So we shouldn't have the negative, we should have the 8, right? There we go. There's 8, right? So so like I said, you can get and set properties during runtime as well. Beginning of the game, you know, like over in this screen where the menu, maybe you want, you know, a default value to start with. Great place to put it is I'm putting it over here. Capisci?